Our hearts should break for something that is broken in this world. Whether it's homelessness, addicts, people who don't know Jesus, foster care really is at the root of a lot of that. Just in the past year, we've served 8 different families with care communities. We've had 3 adoptions happen in the past year. 11 kids, foster kids, come in. And we've had over 34 volunteers serving those 8 families. We started and it was like kind of pulling teeth, like trying to get people to care about something that we care about, but it's kind of caught on. I mean, I think even in our foster group that we meet every month, once in a while we'll get somebody new, and it's just such a like refreshing. They're new and they're just starting the process, and we're like, wow, like I remember when I was like that.
It's your culture building.
Mm-hmm.
And it always seems in your head that it's going to go faster than it actually goes. And it's easy to count that as like loss. But people, especially people, middle class people, homeowners, all this stuff, they calcify in their priorities and their money and their time. And to change that is very difficult to do. And you're in the business of like turning people's attention to things they're purposely trying to forget.
Just like a healthy church body, our hearts should break for something that is broken in this world. Whether it's homelessness, addicts, people who don't know Jesus, foster care really is at the root of a lot of that. If teen pregnancy breaks your heart, if homelessness breaks your heart, if addiction breaks your heart, if domestic violence breaks your heart, whatever it may be, that is like intertwined in foster care. And what a better way to make an impact on those things than to start at the root. There's no reason in Lebanon County that any foster child should not have a Christian home to go to, because the churches far outweigh how many kids are in care.
We always seem to circle this. I think you said something to me last time I was talking to Sam, like people don't know what they don't know or something like that, right? But here's an interesting thought. Certainly we're moving to a place in this church where they can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
Break our heart at times. It's kind of like, I mean, I'm in full-time ministry. Like how many people that worship with us on Sunday that do not have Jesus as King? They have a desire to be a Christian. They want the trappings of cultural Christianity, but they do not have him as King. And you know that very quickly after talking to them. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way, but in a similar way, I think people know some of this stuff we're about to talk about, especially in this church. As we're moving towards like the obedience stage. We're moving towards the sacrificial stage. We're moving towards the pound of flesh stage, right?
There's so much broken in it that it's hard to see or to show people the redemptive side of it.
That's true, Sam. It is
all
true,
they see is like the hard and the broken.
That's so true.
And they're like, why would I sign up for that? Even us, like, you know, a placement leaves and we're like, why would we do this again? Like, that was so hard. And I think foster parents just have that heart and that like nagging of God's voice of like, no, I called you to this. Like, not just for people to be foster parents, but even just to step into any of the mess of it is like a really, like, it takes a faith. Because there is so much broken to see maybe like an ounce of God's there.
Now, this is true too of every single person in this church that I know who's fostering or adopting. There's this weariness on you guys. So I believe that if you're like mind, body, soul hard after discipleship and the love of Jesus, you see that same weariness on that person's face because suddenly your eyes awaken to how much brokenness there is. Why are these people lost? Why are they addicted? Before Christ, you just see these people dumpster fire, you just see like the manifest consequences, but through the eyes of Christ, you see the brokenness and the pain. And it does create weariness, but you're to run towards the brokenness and the pain. All believers who are seeing the world as Jesus sees it have that weariness.
Foster care and adoption through foster care is so hard that, you know, the trauma aspect is
it's forward facing, right?
Right.
It's what everybody sees.
Right. A lot of times people say, well, you signed up for this, or this is your calling, or this is your ministry. But I was thinking, like, if someone is drowning and they go out into the ocean and they know that it's, a bad current out there and there's a storm coming and the waves are crazy, but they still make the decision to go out there, should they just be let out there to drown? Or should are they allowed to call for help? Sometimes I think foster parents do feel that they can't ask for help, or that they shouldn't ask for help,
Why is
or
that, Janelle? Why do they feel like that?
you signed up for it and you knew what you were getting into and you knew it was going to be hard. So there you go. As you know, what our mission is to recruit more foster parents, or just have enough Christian foster parents.
Say yes to the need.
Right. And then they are instilling and teaching these children about Jesus, but also the people that come around the family. They are seeing other adults who love Jesus, care about their parents, them, any act of service. We talk to our girls and say, we got a meal tonight. Oh, who brought us our meal? And, why did they do that? Well, they are serving us because they want to help support us, and they care and love you, and they love Jesus. And this is what they feel. So all that to say is, the more people that come around a family, it just speaks volumes to the family, but also to the children. And even if a foster child is reunified, that seed is in there. And that's the heart of the gospel right there, just teaching people about Jesus and showing them Jesus.
That was the biggest thing being a foster brother was I would have all these brothers and sisters, and they would always be describing, like, how do your parents leave you? Like, that was 90% of it, right? But it's just as extraordinary that people who don't know you, you're in their house, they love you, that's extraordinary love too. Yes, that's extraordinary abandonment. But both are present in the world, and it really depends on which one you want to focus on.
People can also say, is the foster care system is so broken, and it is. However, the more Christian people surrounding a child, they make their own decision to follow Jesus, and they have that foundation, and they don't, the cycle is broken.
So it's long game stuff.
I think also, like, it's really hard for people to see that very small gestures have, like, eternal ripple effects. Like, all you have to do is, like, maybe meet a foster kid once, or be kind to them once, or even just, like, send a note with a prayer to a foster parent that might tell them, like, okay, this is worth it. And then they're able to affect, probably will never know what happens to them, where they end up, what kind of relationships they
You can get blackpilled with that, right? Because your head can go negative quick.
Yeah, it can be very depressing, for lack of, like, a better word. I don't know what else to but there's also this, is there just the tiniest seed that was planted that they're probably not going to remember me, but they'll remember, just like the trauma of a baby being removed from their mother, they're going to remember someone loving them. The Lord is the only one that knows how far that's going to go.
People like these different missionaries I get to meet, they're experiencing a different kind of faith because they're way out past their own skill sets, and they're way out past the things that they can naturally handle, which is where most of us stay, even believers. Hey, this is how much money I have in the bank account. I don't need to, on and on and on, all within our own power. But foster families do not have that luxury. They're out in front of their skis on a regular basis. But here's the benefit of that. It's there that you actually see the manifestation of God's power. That's just biblical. Like, it's when you're weak, I am strong. All that stuff is true. We just don't give ourselves opportunities. That's why I love being around these missionaries, because they're not trafficking in that. They're trafficking in, like, the impossible. They expect, like, Mount Carmel, that biblical story where the fire comes down from God. Christians I'm around with, they don't even talk like that. Like, they don't even believe that fire is going to come down. But sometimes you're around foster families and they do talk like that. And it does make Christians feel uncomfortable. That's the It's like, it depends on what kind of Christian you're talking to. Some people are ignited by that. I love being around people like that. Some people want to turn away.
This is a mission field.
It's totally a mission field.
And I don't know
the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know that a lot of people view it as a mission field because it's right here, but I wish more people would. And it's a mission field where you're not necessarily donating money. You donate money to people to go overseas or to a specific missionary, but this is more of your time and your talents and
The
your
things we don't want to
prayers.
give away.
Right. What you were saying about miracles, I think sometimes I should be praying harder for a miracle.
Yeah, who can't relate to that? Like we say we believe things that we don't actually believe, and it's very obvious because of the way we live our lives. And no one escapes that hypocrisy. No one I know. You might not see yourself as acting in faith, but I think that's not true of foster families. Like none of the math adds up. None of the rationale is there. It's all like irrational by Western standards. So that in and of itself is a step of faith that I think teaches.
May is Foster Care Awareness Month.
Yeah.
We are looking for more volunteers for our care communities. We are going to be hosting a awareness luncheon event. So lunch will be served and childcare will be provided. Just a time to come out and just learn more information on how to become a member of a care community. We'll have other like care community members share from personal experience. We'll have some families there sharing. So the awareness luncheon is May 18th, right after the third service, or you can email Janelle at encounterchurchofelmira.org.
But it's so doable. And the church it has the margin to do like 3 times what we're doing now.
Last year, we had a donation board in the lobby and had some tags on it for people to take and bring back the items.
Cool.
So we collected a lot of diapers and wipes that were used this past year for new placements. And we had actually quite a few babies that came into care this past year. So we were able to help with that, especially when they're first placed, and alleviate some financial strain,
Right.
or just to have a backup when they're having a rough week and they haven't been able to get to the store. We also collected gift cards, which we gave out through the year, things for their kids to do, take their kids out and have some fun together, bonding time.
Whenever I get my emotional support coffee, I thank Encounter Church.
Yes.
Dunkin', I'm going through the Dunkin' line. Thank you, Encounter Church.
Yes.
So you get these like cards.
The Starbucks and Dunkin' cards were requested, and we got a nice chunk of them. So every once in a while, we handed them out to our support group, foster adoption support group members, just to be like, hey, you're seen.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Really appreciate you.